Today we're taking a look at the New Balance Fresh Foam Beacon. .56 miles, 8 minutes 16 per mile today in the New Balance Fresh Foam Beacon. This shoe is a complete surprise to me. I picked this up on a Black Friday special. It's a shoe that I've been eyeing all summer long, but for whatever reason it just kept getting bumped down my list of shoes that I was going to try next, to the point where I was then looking at, you know what, I'm going to wait until it goes on markdown, see if I can get it at a discount. I got this one on a Black Friday deal for I think $72. Well, I think now you can find it on Amazon for $66. So quite a bargain. And at $120 for the asking price, I'm going to cut to the chase here. At $120, it is a value of a shoe. Anything under that, it's absolutely amazing. It's to the point where I kind of wish I had spent full price and bought the black version, because this blue version's okay, but I really like black or really dark gray. The shoe, ultimately, it's surprising on the outside and on the inside. So when I hold this shoe, it doesn't seem like a big chunky shoe. I mean, maybe if you look at it this way, it does, but all the images that you see online make it look like it's got a huge stack height. It's going to be great for long, slow road runs, or for your recovery runs, or for anyone in kind of like the I normally run in Hokas or I normally run in ultra type category. But when I hold this in hand, it's a sleek shoe. It doesn't seem like it has a super high stack height. I like the silhouette of it. I like the way my foot looks at it in it. Even the outsole pattern holding it versus what I see online, it doesn't look like a big flipper of a shoe like you get when you look at the bottom of an Ultra. It just looks like a regular shoe. I mean, this outsole pattern is really unique and very different, and I'll talk more about that in a second, but it looks like the silhouette is just like a regular outsole. It doesn't seem like a huge, big, clunky shoe, and so everything just doesn't look like a big, comfy, super plush shoe, and it doesn't ride like that either. And so I put this on thinking that this would just be kind of a more relaxed tempo kind of shoe, maybe medium, moderate pace to slower pace, but and it does that really, really well. It felt really good in this, to the extent that once I put my feet in it, I thought, I've never been in fresh foam before, and I didn't do a lot. I intentionally try not to do too much research about new materials if I don't have that much experience and haven't already accidentally learned a lot about them. And it was to the point when I got back home, I was wondering if fresh foam is just EVA, because it didn't feel like just EVA. I run in the Hoka Clifton 1, I run in the Salomon RA just this season in the last month or two, and those are EVA foam shoes, and they feel very different to this. And the real surprise is when you get up on your toes on this shoe. There, it feels really responsive in a very pleasant way that was surprising and I totally wasn't expecting. And so I think that this is a shoe that can handle a lot of paces really, really well without having to do anything weird or anything that makes the shoe heavy. I don't think there's a meta rocker or any sort of hardware inside the shoe that's going to be guiding your stride or helping to provide extra like snapback, anything like that. There's just something about this foam, and I needed to run a lot more miles in it to kind of figure out really what I think about it. But there's something in the way that New Balance is putting together fresh foam and making their EVA midsoles that makes it different than just a regular standard EVA foam shoe, because this is something, there's something here. There's something that I really like here, and I don't know if all fresh foam's like that or if it's just the way it's implemented here in the Beacon. The outsole pattern is really interesting. I mentioned that a little bit, and I thought it was going to be kind of universal, kind of like these hexagonal type of lugs, but on the outside they kind of curve towards the outside of the foot, and so I like what they've done with the design here. It makes it really nice. There's a couple of very small rubber sections that are going to be for the high wear areas. This is where I'm going to see most of my wear. It kind of looks almost pre-worn, and it was hard at first on the cameras to pick it up even. But a little bit concerned that the way they've designed the curve of the shoe as the outsole kind of meets the midsole, that this, like what they've done to the rubber, is only going to lead to higher wear in one of the higher wear areas. I ran on a little bit of ice, actually quite a bit of ice, slushy ice today. Things are melting here in Chicago right now, and things were slippery, but I would expect that to be slippery in here. The same thing happened, and I was running in the Under Armour CGR mids, which is more of a winterized shoe, and I was slipping on that stuff in the same spots there too, so nothing too crazy. I ended up getting this shoe really, really wet. Which I wasn't trying to do, and in the winter time in Chicago I try to avoid, because right now the temperatures were in like the mid to high 30s, which is relatively warm for what it's been lately. But the water temperature, I don't know what the water temperature is, but it feels like an ice bath. And so I got my feet drenched in this, and it was not pleasant. This is still not a winterized shoe. It's relatively breathable, so the water just poured in. And it took a good about half mile before I started to regain feeling in my feet. And so a problem, but not one that I really fault this shoe for, because this shoe is what it is. It's not a winterized shoe. The upper is a little bit thicker, and so it's not the most breathable material. It's not like an engineered mesh or like a Flyknit, anything like that. It is thin, but still thicker than some of the other shoes. It reminds me, in terms of the thickness and how warm it is, of the Pegasus 35, which I always thought was a bit of a warm or a hot shoe this summer for summertime running. But for the temperatures I'm in now, I feel a little bit cold. So I think that the sweet spot for a shoe with this kind of material and this level of breathability is probably like in the transitional seasons, fall or in the spring. But I could easily have seen myself running, and I wish I would have picked this up in the summer to get some summer miles in this thing, because this thing is really good. I need to really run a lot more miles in it to get a better feel for what they've done with their EVA and this fresh foam. And I look forward to it. I just hope we get some warmer temperatures so that way I can get some miles in it, because otherwise, if it gets too cold, I'm not sure that I'll be running in this, just because my feet are going to get cold. But looking forward to it nonetheless. Before I go for today, I want to talk about today's charity runner. Today's charity runner is Lexie Dussault. She's LexieRosey on Instagram. She's going to be running the 2019 Boston Marathon for Globe Santa, which is a charity that raises money to make sure that kids in the Boston area can have a good holiday season. So I think a timely charity to be spotlighting for right now. And if you want to check her out, I'll put her link in the description. I've given $10 because I couldn't give $10 was the minimum. So I've given $10, and I hope that you will consider doing the same. This is going to be Lexie's first marathon. She ran her first half marathon last year, and now she's doubling down and going for the full Monty. She's going to be running her first marathon next April in Boston. So good luck to her. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.
Yo, what's going on?